Hey y'all. Y'all, I am back. I am back and I know I'm like coming at such a like awkward moment. I know it's like two other lives going on, but that's okay. That's okay. I was determined to do this live tonight, y'all. So, um, the others can catch the replay, but I want to get this live done tonight. Um, can y'all hear me? First of all, tell me if y'all can hear me. Let me make sure of that. Y'all let me know if you can hear me. Tell me if you can hear me before I go on. Because last time I was just flapping off at the mouth and didn't even know if y'all could even hear me or not. So let me know if y'all can hear me. Okay, great. Okay, good. So we in business. I appreciate you guys coming back. And like I said, I know there's other lives going on, but I really wanted to go ahead and do this tonight because I wanted to get this information tonight because there's no telling what's going to happen tomorrow or Friday or Saturday. And since I had the time tonight, I said I was going to go ahead and do it and people can just join in and catch the replay, as they can, because I know a lot of people want to ask questions. So but let me see who came back. Rebecca in Excess. Hey, Queen, I ain't seen you in a while. Robin, Miss Embra, Gigi, Robin, Jackie, Lawanda, Miss Love. I appreciate y'all. Christy, hey, Queen. I appreciate y'all coming back over here and engaging in this live with me. So, y'all. I think I did a little small live earlier, just kind of going over a couple of things. So I'm going to get right into the commentary of this. Now, a lot of you guys kind of wondered during the time. I know you guys were like, the biggest thing during this saga was why isn't LaTruth during the period when he wasn't seeing his daughter? People was like, well, why isn't he doing more? Or why isn't there being more? Or is she holding him back? Or what is she doing? Or what is she not doing during this period? And so, y'all, we get a lot of that. I even wondered that myself. Being in the legal field, I knew that there was a lot that could have been done. There was a lot of paperwork that could have been filed at that time. And I was just wondering, like, what is really going on? Like, why isn't anything being done? Hey, Cheryl. Hey, me, us. I was trying to figure out, what is really going on? Why isn't no paperwork being filed? Why isn't it being pushed or especially when you're dealing with somebody like Miss Brianna. Hey, Tanisha, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate everybody that's coming back in the chat. Like I said, once again, I know that there are other lives going on, but I wanted to get this live done tonight. I was determined to get it done tonight. I'm the one that I don't like to break my obligations. So regardless, I'm going to come back and do it no matter what. And people can just kind of catch the replay. Hey, Tanya. Hey, Spicy Brown. Hey, Lachelle. Thank you guys for coming back. We're going to jump right back into this live. And like I said, a lot of people wondered, hey, Miss Murray. A lot of people wonder what was going on during that time. So as you guys know, my channel is trying to go into the legal sector more. It has been kind of going in that direction a little bit more. So I've been following a lot of the lead attorneys, especially he's a family attorney. And I've been following Pamela Esquire. I've been following Nancy Grace. I've been following a lot of people that's in the legal sector. But this one particular attorney, he is a family attorney. So I really am engaged into everything that he has to say. And he really hit a live, and I had to break this live down because it described LaTruth's situation to a utmost T. Hey, Ro Baby. Hey, A Stokes. Hey, Unapologetic. Thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate you so much. I did, A Stokes. I fixed it. I did. Hey, Robin. So, and it was just, there's a lot of stuff that gets talked about on that channel that I'm just like, oh, okay, I know about that stuff. But then it was like I said, this really hit home for me. And I said, this would be something perfect for the true supporters to understand the mind of a father when they're dealing with somebody like Brianna, when you're talking about visitation, when you're talking about the rights of your daughter, especially going through when at any moment in time that they can snatch back, and not due to the agreement, well, I don't want to do it today. Well, no, today is not good. So this particular attorney, he actually goes through a lot of this with a lot of males. And there's a mistake that a lot of fathers make that costs them. And this is why LaTruth is going through what he's going through. And I'm going to let you see why he's going through what he's going through. Hey, Treasure Life, what's going on, Queen? So let me load this up really quick. Hold on 1 second. So y'all, I'm going to kind of break this down. This is only a 17-minute video, but I'm going to kind of break out commentary in between. And you guys are welcome to ask any questions or anything in between if you have any questions about something he's saying. Okay, so just hold on. Let me get it up. Humble Me Height, what's going on, Queen? I appreciate you coming through, Miss Lady. All right. The wrong one. That's mine. That don't make sense. Okay. Hey, Truth Slayer. Hey, Beverly. Thank you guys for coming back in. I appreciate you guys. We're going to get right into it. Like I said, I'm not going to be on here long. I'm going to go through this. And I think this will help a lot of people.
Is my case. I'm in North Carolina. Got children in the state of Maryland, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you guys, the reason why I stopped this for a second, because let me explain who this gentleman is. He is actually from the same state as Robert. So that's the reason why I really, really wanted to do this particular one, because he is from the same state. So I want you guys to listen very, very carefully to his situation, okay? Because then it's going to be broken down. So you guys listen very, very carefully to his situation. If you have any questions, remember, I can't see you guys. I'm going to do the best I can, but just listen very carefully.
Mom of the children is holding back visitation. She hinders communication.
Wait, stop right there. Stop right there. I'm sorry. Wait, give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Someone sent me an email that threw me off. Okay, so start again. What were you saying now? I'm listening.
I said I'm in North Carolina.
Uh-huh.
Children in Maryland, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mom of children in Maryland is hindering communication, meaning I'll reach out to speak to the kids daily basis. A lot of game plan. Whenever I was reaching out to her, she would say, "Oh, call them. They're young. They're all minor children. Call them." But then when I call them, I don't get them. I'll send messages. Difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
She's also holding back visitation, parenting time. She plays a lot of games. First, she said,
Picture this. You're sitting at home alone watching YouTube videos, wondering why you can't find the motivation to do the things you need or want to.
that I was going to take them and bring them to North Carolina, which I would never do that. And we both have representation. So we're going through the process. Like we had our mediation, we had our first mediation. One of the things, though, for me, is that mom will send me messages about things that she actually says to kids, such as, "Hey, don't talk to him. Like, don't talk to dad." I told them that you left already. Like they not going to see you no more. So she's telling them these things while when she communicates directly to me, she'll tell me, hey, don't call me. They don't want to talk to you. If you come here to see them, I'll call the police, right? So she's telling them things to make them think I don't want to be involved with them. But then she'll tell me things to try to make sure that I don't come around unless it'll be a problem. One of the things was I even asked one time about
Okay, you guys, really, really quick. Now, pay attention to what he is saying. Now, if this sounds familiar, what he's saying is the mother of his children will tell him that the kids don't want to see him, but at the same time, she's telling her kids he doesn't want to see y'all. So pay attention. Look like, just a form of manipulation. So when they come together, it sounds like, okay, well, you don't want to even see us. Well, just listen. I just want to try to get that part. Hey, Serenity Speaks. Hey, Bridget. Hey, my queen.
seeing them over the Labor Day weekend. So she said, all right, well, here's what we're going to do. You want to see them? I need you to sign this consent order. And then I said, I'll look it over, right? Because it was months where I was disallowed from seeing them. And then in the consent order, she had in there that I had to give her sole and legal custody. So I'm like, hell no, I'm not doing that. Why? I'm not doing that. Hell no. And that's not in their best interest for me to do that. But why use them as that bargaining tool like that and then tell them? And then she told me that she told them, listen, your father has a chance to see you, but he doesn't want to sign the paper. So, of course, I, as a father thinking in the best interest of my kids, said, no, there's no way I'm going to do that. So I have to be the bad guy in that scenario because we went so long without actually seeing each other, meaning the kids and I, and having that parenting time.
How long did y'all go without seeing?
So
how long did you go without seeing the kids?
Okay, so y'all, he is getting ready to ask him a set of questions. And these questions, y'all, are very, very important. It's going to lead up to what I want you guys to understand, because he's gonna break it down, and the way he breaks it down is phenomenal. Hey, Bronx girl, what's going on, beautiful? And you guys, for those who don't know this gentleman to the left, well, he's to my left, he might be to your right, but those who don't know him, this is a lead attorney. He's a lead attorney. He's actually retired. He was a family court attorney for 20 years. So he is actually retired now. That's why he's on YouTube, because he tries to go in and help families and stuff. The same way I'm trying to start to do from a female perspective, but he's doing it from a male perspective. So right now, what he's doing is he does a lot of mediations now. So, when I told y'all that we have GALs, guardian ad litems, he does guardian ad litems. He is an attorney that does guardian ad litems now. He is an attorney that does mediations now. He does not do representation. He's doing both parties now. So he's retired, but he's one of them people that comes out and does mediations and guardian ad litem. So he's very familiar with what goes on in these homes with these mothers, these fathers. So that is what makes it so awesome for him to speak from this perspective. So that's what I want y'all to understand. But listen to these questions. Hey, April. Yes, LaWanda, he is retired. He's 20 years. He did 20 years, but he is not an active attorney. He is retired. He's still licensed, but he does not represent. Hey, Elise. I'm trying to get all y'all in as I see y'all coming in, but I just want y'all to pay attention to the questions very carefully, okay? And I'm sorry if I keep interrupting. Y'all know we can't let it play too long without doing certain commentary. Our pages will get struck. So here we go.
11 months. 11 months. I didn't see them from December of 2021 until November of 2022.
Okay, how did you see them in November of 2022?
Finally, in November 2022, my then lawyer, who I got at that point, basically negotiated with hers. But Mom and I more so spearheaded the communication and the conversation, and it became beneficial for her because it was over that so-called Thanksgiving break. So she wanted the time off. So
When did you
what
hire when did you hire the attorney? In November or when?
No, I'm gonna say maybe September or October of 2022.
Okay, so maybe you hired the attorney in October and you got to see the kids in November.
Right.
But before that, you hadn't seen the kids since when?
Since December of 2021.
Mm-hmm. Guys, listen.
Okay. Did you guys hear that? Hey, Hazel Eyes. Hey, Denise. Did you guys hear that? He did not see his kids for 11 months. He went without seeing his children for 11 months. Okay, so most people would probably say the same thing that the other people said about Robert. Oh, why would you go that long without seeing your kids? You're abandoning your kids. Why would you do that? So it looks like he just doesn't care, right? It looks like he's not making the effort, right? That's the first thing that people would say. Well, you're not doing everything you can to see your kids, or what's going on, or blah, blah, blah. That's the first thing people will say. Okay. Now, this does bring in frustrations to people as myself, and you're going to see the frustration that it brings to this attorney when he speaks about it. There's frustration there because to us, there is sources, there's avenues there. So anyway, I want you guys to just keep listening. I just wanted to point that out. 11 months. April, the attorney, I know he's pretty laid back in this video. He's the one with the blue hoodie. That's the lead attorney. He I think he's just really laid back, and these one of his days. I think he was just taking calls in and speaking on this particular problem. But yeah. So you guys listen up.
Listen, this is not your fault, right? Obviously. Does anybody see a problem with what? And I see this so much with guys. So much with guys. And I'm going to do a whole fucking stream on it. But I can't do it on YouTube because they're going to fucking ban me because of the shit that I got to say. Because we need to do better, guys. Does anybody hear something very important what this brother just said? Right? Anybody? This is what I see in the chat. If anybody heard the key, right, which is why judges get so frustrated with guys. Guys put themselves in a hole when women don't act right. And judges are sick and tired of it. And attorneys really are sick and tired of it too. And Brandon said it. Brandon said he delayed in getting a lawyer earlier. Now let's talk about this because number one, it needs to be said out the gate that lawyers are hella expensive. They really, really are. All right. And to get a lawyer is something. So let's put that out there from the jump. Here's how judges look at this. My man said that he stopped seeing his kids in December, then didn't see him in January. Did he hire an attorney in January? No. Didn't see the kids in February. Did he hire an attorney in February? No. What about March? Did he see the kids? No. Did he hire an attorney? No. April, May, June, July. October, he doesn't see the kids. What does he do in October? He hires an attorney. When does he see the kids? The next month. The next month. Right? And this is what pisses judges off. Because good judges, because some of these judges are, man, they ain't worth shit. But the good judges are like, all you had to do was file something, come to me. I can try to fix it for you. Hire an attorney. This is what we're here for. Right? And guys will say, well, you know, I was trying to be nice. I was trying to work it out. Why are you trying to be nice? What's more important, spending quality time with your kids or being nice to this woman who is actively harming your kids? Guys, when women try to turn your kids against you, they are harming the kids. They are hurting the kids. Men will let women hurt their kids for 11 months before they hire an attorney. And I'm not shooting at you, Interaction, even though it's what you did, but this is what we all see.
Okay. Hey, JB. What's going on, beautiful? Hey, honey. And honey, and the thing about it is, let me speak this. And he probably didn't have the money. But what he's saying is there are avenues. Attorneys are expensive, but there are avenues. And of course, him being an attorney, he is going to go the avenue and say, hire an attorney. But there are other options, and that's, I'm just saying. So even though if we try to compare this situation to Robert's situation, where is the problem at? So this is why I say, and this is why y'all, I take the stance that I take sometimes, and sometimes people think I'm being too hard or being whatever, but this is where, when I tell you I'm speaking from a legal perspective, there's so many avenues out here. That's for one that can be taken. And it looks like, you don't want to fight with the mom. You want to let the mom have the way. And the women have this way of manipulating men into thinking that they have control over those kids or over that child. They because men, men try to look to ways to try to work it out. Men are not controversial. Men are not combative. They're not trying to look to be into it with anybody. They're trying to look to have peace and settle it. So they would rather go without than to fight. And sometimes that's not good, especially when your child or your children may be in a situation that may be harmful. So if there are avenues, you have to fight. And this is true. I've seen judges, I've seen other attorneys, we talk about all the time, get really pissed because men have to know that their rights are being violated by some of these women, because some of these women feel like, I have the children, she's in my possession, he's in my possession, and I can tell him what to do. And that is what happens. So they kind of just fall back because they don't want the problems. But guess what? They're looked at as the villain. They're looked at as, you don't care about your kids. You don't care. This young man went 11 months. And as soon as he got an attorney, that next month he got his kid. So what does that tell you about RH's attorney? And I'm gonna let that sink right there. That's right, Lachelle. They do. But you know what, Lachelle? This is what I'm gonna say to that. And this is me speaking from a legal perspective. And this may sound harsh, but would you rather be tired and know that your child is good and you can see you're good, or would you rather be tired not knowing something's going on with your child, not knowing what's going on, not knowing what's happening? Yeah, that's right, JB. I agree with you. Men don't be trying to go to court and look like they're snitching on their baby mama or deal with the BS. But exactly, that's their kid. Y'all, at the end of the day, it's your child. You gotta fight. But anyway, let's proceed. Let's continue. Or Harmony Speaks says, moving forward.
For 20 years, and I promise you, I'm gonna make a video about this because men, we're not thinking about this correctly. So many men, shout out to Kwame Brown, we're all in this whole fucking go along to get along. And it all starts in the relationship. Because women talk to us crazy and whatever. And women will say, disrespect us, whatever. We just ignore her, right? But then when the relationship ends, that continues. So she starts disrespecting you. I'll try again later. Or she's just upset. She's just emotional. She's a bitch. We'll work it out later. But if these kids are as important as we say they are, we should not be a part of the go along to get along game. These judges say, listen, they don't say this, but it's like, this is how they feel.
Welcome to Adobe Express, where creativity meets convenience. Are you ready to revolutionize your workflow? Let's take a tour of the platform and
would you allow a man to mess with your mother for 11 months straight? Would you allow a man to disrespect your mother? Would you allow a man to hurt your mother for 11 months before you did anything about it? Let's say that you won the lottery and you won $20 million from the state, but the state didn't want to pay you, even though you had the ticket. Would you wait 11 months for your $10 million before you went and hired an attorney? You would not. If the state was like, oh, well, you got the ticket, but we're not going to fucking pay you for some reason, there was something wrong with the machine or something, we're not going to pay you, you would go to an attorney immediately. Not you, but you, men, right? Men always try to do it the nice way. We're like the softies in this situation. But it's like, it looks weird for us to be soft because we're saying that our kids are important. We're saying we want to see our kids, but we don't fight for our kids in a timely fashion. We will fight for other things in a timely fashion, but we won't fight for kids in a timely fashion. And let me tell you what a lot of these judges think, and maybe some of them are true, man. If the situation were reversed and a woman saw, a good mother saw her kids being harmed for 11 months, judges, we can't even imagine a woman, just a good mother, waiting 11 months.
Okay, so how many of y'all agree with this? Hey, Ariana, it's okay, my love. Who else? Joanne came in. How many of you guys think, and I know some of it sounds like, oh, you're being hard, but you know, at the end, you guys were thinking about the kids. Lachelle said, I understand my nephew went through this with his ex-wife, but I told him, hold on, I'm sorry. Oh gosh, I got to get back up there. This chat is going, y'all going fast. But I told him to fight no matter what the cost of a lawyer. She didn't get to play those games for too long. Exactly. And believe it or not, the judge be wanting the fathers to be involved. It has to be some type of neglect for them to give them visitation rights. Exactly, JB. And that's what it is at the end of the day, you guys. It's not about there. Like I said, I know people say, well, lawyers are expensive, lawyers are expensive. You know what? This is why, and this is one of the main reasons I promise y'all that I started my legal firm, because the legal system and attorneys are sometimes too expensive. They're too expensive. So what my business does is we sit down and we talk to pro se, men who come. I've had so many fathers come to me. Oh, you know, visitation. I can't get visitation. She acting up. She telling me I can't see my kid or blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you what I do is simple paper. What I do is I do the paperwork for them. I walk them through the process. I tell them this is what you need to do. You show up to court. You tell your story in your own words. Because who's better to represent yourself than you? Who can tell your story better than you can? Who can, hey, Amber, who can tell your story better than you? So what I do is prepare that paperwork, and guess what? They go in front of their judge. I had one guy walk out of a courtroom crying because he had not seen his kids for like 3 or 4 months because she was denied him. He was fighting. He was trying to work with her. All he had to do was go file that paperwork, and guess what? It didn't cost him, with me, it didn't cost him over $1,000. It didn't cost him over $1,000, and he got to see his kid. So the bottom line is, y'all, there are avenues. As much as people want to say it's expensive, there are avenues. And this is why this was so important to me to show this video, because this is what I do when people first thing say it's expensive. It's not, because there's people out there that are in positions that are ready to help. They're ready to help. Anyway, let's proceed. Hey, Dark and Lovely. Hey, Miss Judy. The same thing happened to my son. She was keeping the kids away from him. I said, no, we get an attorney. We're going to fight. That's right. You fight. So we're going to see some men and some women don't want to take the time to fight. Work and life goes into play. People pick and choose their fight. That's right. Y'all got to think about it. We come out here and we fight for relationships with people, but we can't fight. Women do it. Now, y'all as women, y'all have children, right? If your children was living with their father or something, and the father denied you access to them, the first thing you're going to do is fight. Like, no, that's my child. I want to see my child, and I got to do what I got to do. At least that's me. You know, that's me. And I know the women on here, That's okay. I'm glad to have you, Lucky 8. Thank you, Boo. So about there, you just have to find help and find. That's right, JB. That is so right. Okay, y'all, I'm going back. I know y'all like played it. Hold on, y'all.
To get the problem resolved. A good mother, man, they won't fucking wait 11 minutes. I mean, a good mother seeing her kids being harmed, they won't fucking wait 11 minutes before they start taking action. But a good father, and it's clear that you're a good father because you hired an attorney, you're spending these thousands of dollars, you're fighting it, you are a good father. But a good father will not only wait 11 minutes, not only, 11 hours, not only 11 days, not only 11 weeks. A good father will wait 11 months before he does something to stop the kids from being harmed. And then when he takes action in the 11th month, oh, now he gets to see his kids in 30 days. And so I'm not shooting at you, Interaction, because number one, I know you're a good father. But number two, this is what good fathers do. This is what nice guys do. It's this go along to get along. Oh, I'll just play along and she'll come around and maybe I don't have to spend any money and maybe I can sweet talk her or, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can call her mama. Maybe I can call her sister. Maybe I can sneak or, maybe it'll get better in a few weeks. But she's actively harming the kids in these weeks. Right? So this is a message that and I'm so glad you're up here. So it gives me the opportunity to get it out. This is one of the number one things that men need to do. Men need to go to war with these women. Go to fucking war. If a man was harming your mother for 11 months, you would go to war with that.
Okay, so I see a couple of questions in the chats, and I don't want to let you guys get away from me. So, April. So, yes, the guy with the glasses is the one that's fighting the custody battle. Yes. And the lead attorney, of course, y'all know, y'all usually see him in a suit, but this particular day, he was dressed down because I don't think he had anything going on that day. Yes, Joanne, he is located in Atlanta. For you guys who don't know, he's in Atlanta. And Lachelle's, yes, babe, that's wishful thinking, hon, because if that was the case, these kids would probably see both their mom and dad. I wish it was like that. I promise you, I wish it was like that. I wish it was that easy to take a child, but we can't even talk to the minors without having an adult present, except, in the case of a GAL or something like that. But yes. Hey, Raw Truth and Uncut. But you guys, yes, but yeah, he is located in. But I want to stop real quick. JB said, and it's messed up. You have to go there and spend all this money just to be able to see his own kid. But sometimes you got to do what the hell you got to do, especially if the man is willing to be there. That's right. You got to continue to fight. You can't just let it go. And a lot of men are humble, and I think I seen Terry come in the chat. Maybe he can vouch for that. A lot of men are just humble. A lot of men, I think D-Ham came in the chat too. He can vouch. A lot of men just don't want all that back and forth, all that rah-rah. They don't want to deal with that. And if you have a woman such as who we seen in this saga, you got the rah-rah, you got the back and forth. But if you got that backing and you tell them you stand on business and not let them run it like that, they can't do that. But I really do think between Mr. Robert fighting the abuse allegations and trying to fight this, I think it was just a bit overwhelming for him. That's just my opinion. So let's continue.
Man, if you have a job, if your employer owed you $50,000, you would go to war. You would go to court immediately for that 50 grand. But when your kids are involved, you won't go to war immediately.
How do you fight an enemy?
And great fathers do this. Great fathers is just like, well, I'll try to talk with her. I'll try to reason with her. So many of these women, I swear to God, you cannot reason with them. I'm a mediator. You know, I'm retired, but I mediate cases. I mediated a case on Monday and I mediated a case today. And I can tell you these women are 100% unreasonable. It's my job to help the man reach an agreement with the woman. That's what they pay me for per hour, a significant amount per hour. I have such a tough time doing it. And I've been doing this shit for 20 years. If I can't do it, how are you going to do it? And she don't even like you. Right? Now, let me back up and let me say this. The best way to get what you want in a divorce or with custody, the best way to start is the way that you started. The best way, guys, if sweet talking this woman will work, oh my God, let me tell you, if lying to her will work, oh, you're such a great mom. You know she ain't a great mom. But if you can tell her that lie and she gives you a lot more visitation, or she comes down on the child support, lie to her. Tell her anything, like the way that you did it, trying.
Now, y'all, I have to admit, I don't know. I agree with that one, but I get what he's saying. And don't forget, y'all, he's speaking from a male attorney's point of view. But I get what he's saying. Right now, he's not in pro mode. He's in downtime mode. So he's really giving it to you in layman terms, you know. So I get what he is saying. He's saying sometimes, especially when you come to mediation, your thing is to get her to sign that paper, get her to sign. So it won't be, once she signs, it's over. It's over. April, I hate to say it. I wouldn't say, April, I wouldn't say like great liars, but it's like, it's a way to do things. You know what I'm saying? It's just a way to, you know, to get things done. I would say that. It's so funny. I hate to even say that because y'all know one thing I can't stand is just liars. But in this business, in some business, it's just a way of flipping it a little bit. So I don't know if I quite agree with what he said, but I mean, again, he's coming from a male perspective, you guys. Honestly, I believe Bree does this because she knows Arch is going to do nothing. And this is a fact, Lachelle. This is a fact. And I do 100% agree with that. I don't agree with that. I ain't about to lie to. Yeah, JB, I'm on the fence with that. I have to agree with you. I'm on the fence about that. Now, y'all agree with my boy, but again, you have to keep in mind that, you know, this would have been a very great debate between me and him about that, but he's speaking from a male perspective. Don't forget that. And this is how sometimes I guess he's viewing, because women, we are very emotional creatures, and sometimes we come from a very emotional place. So sometimes to calm us down, you got to feed us a little BS, and that's just the truth. Sometimes you got to kind of pat our back a little bit. You kind of got to feed us some things. Y'all know how we are. We go to hollering and screaming. You got to kind of like kiss up a little bit. So I think that's what he's saying. I'm really thinking that's what he's saying. Fake it till you make it. Dark and lovely. Yes, fake it till you make it. So I really think that's what he's trying to say. I wouldn't necessarily use the word lie, but you know. D-Ham coming through in the clutch. That's right. You men have to learn to pick and choose their battles. And I think basically that's what he's really saying. So that's a great way to put it. I knew D-Ham was hiding, so I knew he was somewhere in there. So men have to, and I understand you got to pick and choose your battles. And I think men, like I said, they're not controversial people. They don't want to go back and forth. Ariane says, that's why I believe Robert was really nice to her, so that he could slide out, because certain women are completely unhinged. Well, and y'all, believe it or not, this is why I believe he probably let the GAL go, but it still didn't work out in his favor to do that. I'm gonna have to say in this case. You better, JB, you better quit saying you don't look like Tupac. JB said, oh, Miss Sean, trust me, I get it all the way. And sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Yes, babe. Yes, you do. Hey, Brittany. Hercules Brown says the lead attorney watched him a lot. He's in Atlanta. And yes, he is. Yes, he is. And I enjoy him, y'all. And I'm getting my way in that sector. And I had the pleasure of speaking to him one time. And it was a really good conversation. It wasn't that long though, but it was just giving me some nuggets about this whole thing, the YouTube, getting into the legal sector, what to do, how to do it, how to perform. So it was, I really admire and I trust his judgment on things. But again, y'all, he's a male, so keep that in mind. So let's continue.
Trying to sweet talker or trying to play nice, do that for fucking 5 days. Because you can get more sometimes sweet talking a woman than any attorney will ever get you, because you got a relationship with this woman and you may know that there are certain buttons that you can push to get her to sign the shit that she needs to sign. Let me tell you something. I was married. I was married for 10 years. I got divorced. I didn't get screwed over. She did not hire an attorney. If she would have hired an attorney, I would have been in trouble. She didn't hire an attorney because she felt like she didn't need to. Why did she feel like she didn't need to? Because I was giving her that game. I divorced her. I'm the one that filed. I divorced her, but I'm going to take care of you. You're so good. I know things didn't work out, but and I got more out of that divorce than any fucking judge would have given me. I got a better deal. So what you're trying is intelligent, but you have to know when playtime is over. You have to know when it's over. And when they're hurting your kids, when they're turning your kids against you, it's over almost as soon as it starts. So let me say that to everybody who's listening.
To you about that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I wanna highlight what you just said, because after that visitation, and because they came to me, I picked them up, I brought them back to my house. After that visitation in November, she denied it again, right? She denied it again and gave some bogus stories, just nonsense. But nevertheless, our son, one of our sons, he's 7 years old. That boy said, "Daddy, it's something I want to tell you." I said, "What's that?" This is December of 2022. He said, "Daddy, it's something I want to tell you." I said, "What's that?" He said, "I don't want to talk to you." This is over the phone. 7-year-old boy tells his father, "I don't want to talk to you." And then he later emails me saying, "I apologize. I feel that might have hurt you." Not only did he say it, his older brother, still a minor child, said the same thing in the same exact conversation. However, the fact that all of that time went on, she was doing the damage and the hurt, like you were saying, because she and me. I tell them not to tell you her exact words, which I've already printed up and everything to present that. I tell them to tell you, tell him you don't want to talk to him. So even though they almost a year later expressed those words, they were coached to say that. They were influenced negatively to say that. That wasn't from an
100%.
interaction that they and I had. That came from her. So I took those very same feelings and I caught some of your videos as well. And I myself, with my attorney, then filed for custody on my own, because I have a particular background in education, in social emotional learning, and everything else. So I saw all of the red flags. I'm like, you telling me this, but you telling me this, you know what? For a reason. And that reason is what's going to end up later on, because you're going to clearly show that you were that negative influence to coerce them to the point to make them feel. A 7-year-old is never going to be comfortable telling any parent, "I don't want to talk to you."
Right.
Okay. All right, hold on, let me stop you. Okay, so you guys, so basically the little bit that I did want, I kind of cut that video short because it was just that main part. Hey, hanging with Miss D. I wanted you guys to hold on 1 second. All right. I wanted you guys to understand that even that this court, I guess basically what I try to do is I try to take things out of the LaTrue saga and I try to bring it into our real life, into our own homes. Even though we can relate to what happened with LaTrue, now we can see the mindset. This young man went a lot longer than LaTrue without seeing his kids. But you see, the minute that he got a good attorney, he got his kids within 30 days. You can't let up. You have to stand on business when it comes to certain type of women. Now, fortunately, I would say like 60% of the time, we can get with a spouse, even when we split away from them, we can get with them and we can, part ways amicably. No problems. We do straight visitation. You get 50%, 50% weekends. You're able to work it out and have no issues. That was not the case with LaTrue. That was not the case with that young man. And what the lead attorney, I get what he's saying. Like I said, I get what he's saying. And how many people on here think that had LaTrue maybe, just maybe, kind of not pushed back in the beginning with her, she might have gave in a little bit? How many think that? How many think if, maybe if she wouldn't have kind of pushed back and kind of like, hey, listen, blah, 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 blah. Y'all know what? The more I see her say that, I think he was still nice in the beginning. This still didn't work. I'm interested in what you guys think. JB said them boys getting coaches say they don't want to talk to him, and that's so effed up. It is. It is. Getting his with no problem at all in her head. She knows he ain't gonna do. Yeah, y'all. I hate to say that. Yeah, he is typically in suits. Yes, he is typically. And I think those are the days that he does have cases. Now, to keep in mind, y'all, he does GALs. Now, he can be a GAL. He does GALs. So he is a person that he gets paid big money because he's 20-year experience with family attorney. He is the type of lawyer, or he actually does. He does the mediation and the GALs. And I think he's speaking from the fact that he's had to sit and talk to these women that want unreasonable stuff. They want unreasonable things. And he has to be the one to say, hey, that's not reasonable. But if you get pushback from the father, then that's going to make her push back even more. So it's like a pushback to the point, now you got to go in front of a judge and let a judge decide. Sometimes mediation doesn't work. You got to go right in front of a judge and let a judge decide. Joanne, that's very true. Joanne says, no, you're not. Oh, yes, you are. Hey, D-Ham.
Hello. What's going on now? Queen, how you doing?
Thank you so much for joining me. It is so good. It's good to hear what you think. I'm dying to hear what you think about this situation with the lead attorney, the things that he said, and the advice that he gave this young man and the things. And do you agree that it's the pushback, or do you think that going long term periods of time is just not the answer that you have to fight? What is your perspective on that?
Well, there's a few things that I want to chime in on because I came in kind of late. I don't know how long you've been live. I've been trying to be there right when you started, just in case I can kind of hear everything how you really started the live and everything. But basically, what I've heard so far was the fact that why men does not feel the need sometimes to fight for their children and get an attorney. I think that men in general does not want to see courtrooms, often. It's just not in our in the things that we're looking to protect ourselves by being. Only time you normally you see somebody lawyering up is when they got a real case, like they're being accused of a crime, and then they done got locked up, and now they got to deal with a public defender or spend money as far as getting out of the trouble that they're in. But oftentimes when it comes to children, that's the last thing we're going to do. So he's exactly right about that.
DM, you went out on me. Can y'all hear me? I want to make sure y'all can hear me. I think he might have went into a bad spot. Serenity speaks. She absolutely did.
Can you still hear me?
Well, we can hear you now.
Okay, yeah, my phone rang. But yeah, that's one of the things that we struggle with as men. We normally don't seek to go that way unless we have a real reason to try to fight and spend money for our children. Oftentimes that we'll just let a woman walk all over us. That's what we do. That's what we're accustomed to. So he's exactly right about that.
Do you agree that's what happened? I know we're not really covering the saga. We're not really covering it like that. But do you agree that that's one of the things that have happened with the child custody or child visitation case in the LaTrue saga?
Not completely. I think I if I'm not mistaken, even on Sweet Mind's live yesterday, you seen she posted one of the videos, and I remember that video from times when I was just learning the saga where LaTruth walked out the courtroom based on I think they was trying to get an order of protection on him, and it failed.
TPO.
And he said I didn't even have an attorney, and and she showed up with an attorney, and it didn't work, right? So oftentimes, well now you got to get into the mindset of why did he think to go into the courtroom without the attorney? Okay, so it could be a number of reasons. One or two that he knows that he's going to articulate his point and actually got proof to show that she's maybe lying. Or second, it could have been the fact that he just didn't want to spend money to represent something on that level. So, but what happens is oftentimes we'll convince ourselves we don't need attorneys. And so when it gets to the child custody, it seemed like he did lawyer up, but the problem was he did not demand the attorney to fight and earn her money from him. Like, you're paying this woman to do a job, but you're not demanding the best out of her. You're not putting her making her say, hey, I'm paying you to do this. So why am I still dealing with a bitter baby mama that's still, it seemed like she's keep getting over on me on these certain things where it seemed like I'm just spinning wheels. So I think he did not demand and command the attorney to properly fight for him like he needed.
Right. I have to agree with that. What do you think of this comment Miss Armstrong made? She said RH had many battles, and I just think at the time he was trying to save his brand, rep, and coins. I don't think he probably thought that far in with his child. I really can't say, but I'm thinking she said he let her punk. But the part is, he was more focused on do you think he was more focused on trying to maybe save the brand, and he really didn't think that he really have a problem in that area with his child? So he didn't think that far. Because if I can recall, you guys, and I'm gonna say this before you answer DM, if I can recall, I believe that I think maybe he thought in the beginning, as y'all seen in the video, when they split up, they were doing good. She was bringing the child to him. You know, he was getting the baby with no problems. He was still seeing the children, even seeing the children at the time, even come to one of the boys' birthday parties, I believe. So he was still interacting. And then at some point in time, I believe, and this is just my opinion, when, you know, the boyfriend came along, it kind of changed. So do you believe that he just didn't thought, well, dang, I didn't really even think I would have a problem seeing my child? So you think he was just more focused on, you know, the abuse allegations more?
No. I remember when the shift really took place. So I'm gonna see if you remember how I recall it.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, LaTruth was, like you said, they was co-parenting under the circumstances of being separated, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think in retrospect, I think that, like, I'm about to call her Lionel. I'm gonna call her Brianna. I think Brianna was hoping for the best for them to work out their situation. That's what gave us a lot of the content creators and subscribers the idea that she still wanted him back. She was still willing to work with him to a certain degree, because I think wholeheartedly she wanted her marriage back at that time. But there was a
Mm-hmm.
situation that came up where LaTruth she wanted LaTruth to just come and get the child, and it was past a certain hour in of the night, and he was like, "I'm not," because she said, I think she put out a warning like, "You don't know who's stepping around me," type of thing. So he said, "Well, I'm not coming to get the child this time of night." So, you know, you've already put out threats and things of that nature. And I think that's when everything shifted, where she became this bitter baby mama and began to withhold the child from him. So he went through a time span where he did not see the child for a good period of time, because I think that he was making sure that it was safe, right?
Well, I believe so, but I believe so. I believe so. And I don't, you know, I can't recall if anybody can in the chat can recall, maybe Miss Judy or somebody can recall, at that time, were they meeting at the police station even then? Or they were meeting at neutral spots? Do you remember?
Yeah,
Because
they
even if
had.
he had a concern for his safety, he still could have. I believe they were still making. No, they weren't, because she said, "Why don't you come pick her up?" So they weren't
Correct.
meeting at the police, because she did say, you need to come get her." That's what she said. Sure
Correct.
did.
Correct. They had a disagreement of, it was some type of alleged things that he ended up being in fear of his life, not to the point where he just feared, but it was like more like he was like, I'd rather do it at a police station, you know. And it became a situation where they was talking about third parties, and well, you know, such and such can meet up. But you, once you make a statement saying you don't know who's stepping around me, you better watch your back. That is a threat, and I think LaTruth took that threat serious. Is if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and one of the supporters, Miss Lovely, she said she wanted him to pick the baby up around 11:30 p.m. that night. So I think it was like well after his scheduled visitation time or something, and that's when she called him, and I think that's when they sat up on the phone. They got in an argument, and she was just going back and forth, why you can't get her, where you at, blah blah blah. I think they was going back, and this when they got into that shouting match, and she did say, "You better watch your back." That's when she just started. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's what happened there. So I think overall, there's been a lot of um mishaps that LaTruth made along the way, because technically it shouldn't have took him that long to, from the time that went down. I think what he was doing still was what the lead attorney was just advised uh men to do, which I don't agree.
Go
Is
along. He calls it the go along to get along.
I don't agree with
Get
that
along to go.
statement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't agree with that, because yes, you want to. In other words, what he was trying to say, kill her with kindness. But he used the word gang. I don't technically like that word in this type of situation, because it's like you're trying to get over on somebody based on how you're uh brain effing them. You understand?
Yeah,
I wouldn't say give her game. I would say you kill her with some kindness. You can be as nice, as cordial as you possibly can, and see if she will give in to some of the uh to at least make this about the child and not her anger towards you. But when you are when you are dealing with someone who's showing you time and time again that they'll switch up and withhold the child or block you or won't answer calls or deny you opportunities to spend special days with your child, you have to lawyer up. And if you're not willing to lawyer up, you are at the mercy of a woman who's weaponizing the child against you.
that's right. That's absolutely right. Now, let me ask you this question. Do you feel like, being that at that time he did have an attorney, he had a family attorney, do you feel that it was the lack of professionalism on his attorney, or the lack of communication that he was giving to his attorney about what was going on? What do you think?
I honestly believe I think both parties are at fault.
Hmm.
If you're paying somebody to do a service, um, and you're not questioning um how active they are involved, um, and possibly letting you know the timelines, how long things would take, different motions that need to be filed, different things that need to be filed, um, and you're not on them about these things. You're now wasting time that you can't put the blame on her. You got to put it on you. And I do believe, and I said this early into the saga when I first got in, that I didn't trust the attorney he had. I did not think that they were doing the best job. And oftentimes, what we got hit with was, you don't know what he's doing. You don't know. You don't know what he moves in silence. You don't know how he's, what you could be like. We could real. Yeah, you're right. Our speculation could be 100% wrong. But what I'm saying is, if you have an attorney that's on the job, we would have seen some results. And neither one of them seemed like they was really that involved, that in tune with what was really going on with the situation. So it wasn't until the mediation came about in the GAL that we really, well, let's say the GAL. The GAL came into play. Then we knew something was finally being done. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I agree with that. Hey, coming in, Brantley's Lifestyle. What's going on? Lisa West, Sugar Shack. What's going on? Thank you guys for coming in. Appreciate you coming in. But I have to agree with that. I have to agree with that. Do you have my? I have to. I have to agree with that, and I have to agree with JB, and she agrees with you also. That says, in my opinion, and this is just my professional opinion, is that I do believe that there is more that his attorney could have advised him to do. There and matter of fact, I know there's more. It's not even a think, it's a no. There's more that could have been done during that period. But I'm thinking based on the behavior of Robert, maybe he just didn't want any pushback. Maybe he was doing go along to get along. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why he didn't push it as much.
Yeah.
He did the go along because, as you can see what the lead attorney said, when you get an attorney involved, you're gonna see your child instantly. You're gonna see him within a couple. You're gonna see him because that's the law. You're gonna see him instantly. One thing about it is, even though these are our children, the law is a law, and the fathers have rights, and those rights have to be honored. So when you get an attorney, or you get the right, I'm gonna say the right attorney in his case, you get the right attorney involved, you're gonna have, you're gonna have your rights to your kids. You're gonna be able to see your kids. I just don't think that it was either properly communicated to her what actually was going on, or she was just lacking, or I just don't feel like she was a strong enough attorney. And that's just my opinion, y'all. No shade against her. I don't know, but as an active family law attorney, I just don't think a lot was done enough on his
Absolutely.
behalf.
I think that the brother was really trusting the fact that he lawyered up. Once you retain an attorney and they took your money, it is almost, I don't know. I mean, you gotta. I think everybody's different. Sometimes we're not going to just fire that attorney and and go find somebody else, because I don't think that money is refundable. So I think sometimes you just be like, dang, I got a terrible attorney, you know, and now you're looking at, dang, am I gonna have to go back in my pockets, retain another attorney, go through the the list of how much it's going to be, shopping the right rate for the service. And so sometimes that can be a difficult thing to do. So I can't honestly say that that was his situation, but those are some of the things that when the lead attorney said that, his services is not cheap. You know, he said that. So if we're men already and we're already lackadaisical with our business,
Hmm.
especially when it comes to our children, you definitely know that you're not about to fire one attorney and rehire another one.
That's
Just
very
like
true.
that.
That's very, very true. Because I will say in my own personal, I don't do criminal law. I mainly stick to civil law. So I do remember when one of my own family members had a criminal situation. Even though I am familiar with criminal stats and all of that, I don't deal with them because it's a lot, and it's a lot of emotions involved with criminal. So one of my family members came to me and needed a situation with a criminal, so a criminal situation. So went to an attorney, and I did not. We paid him $2,500 for his attorney. I did not like him. I did not. I couldn't stand the way he handled that case. He showed us a good game at first, but I didn't like the way he handled that. But guess what? We decided to hire another attorney. Had to give that other attorney $5,000. And my thing is, I couldn't even get my other $2,500 back. So no, you're absolutely right. You can't get that money back.
Right.
So you got to make sure. And granted, I probably could have stayed on top of that, but again, criminal is something I leave to the attorneys because that's touchy. So, but I have to agree, getting money back from legal is very, very hard. Once you put that money in, you got to kind of stick it out. Hey,
Yeah.
Lux Pearl. Hey, Dee Dee. Hey,
Yeah.
Christina.
So I think also, Sean, that it was dang, Upper just went live. I'm gonna have to um um but I think also it is fair to say that, you know with the family court, I did not know the real process of it, because it seemed like the marriage was the divorce was combined in a sense, and I didn't understand that you're dealing with a divorce as well as paternity or custody. So you're dealing with a divorce as well as custody. So I thought that would be two separate things, but every time we would speak on it throughout the saga, it made it seem like it was a combined thing that the attorney was figuring out at the same time. But we understood that him being uh, uh, alienated from his child was wrong. So for us to be discussing it, it just did. We didn't have a clear blueprint of what was really taking place. You understand what I'm saying? Or layout. What was really taking place? Because you got the custody battle as well as the divorce, and then all of these different motions, right? And we knew that they didn't have any property to split up. We knew that there was no vehicles and homes or anything of that nature. So we're only talking about uh, child custody, and we're talking about uh, whether there should be some child support. So what was the holdup? I had no idea.
Yeah, it's always going to be a mystery as to what really went on. We can always make our assumptions or come up with our own theories. The only reason why I can say some things is just like I said, is some things from a legal point that I know that are steps that could have been done that I didn't see taken during the situation. But and that's the only reason why I can, kind of come up. But we can always come up with certain assumptions about we don't know what's going through people's heads and why they make the decisions that they're that they do make. So I do agree with you on that. What you say, Luxpro, is too much going on. And Justina, what you mean? Question: why do we have to fight for a lawyer? It takes two parents to have a kid. What you mean by that? Because one of those parents may not understand that it is actually two parents, and they feel like because they're that one parent that they can have all the control in the world. And sometimes that's why you do have to go and get you a lawyer. Back in the beginning there, D-Red said, Robert absolutely can do more. Bottom line, no excuse. If you can complain and post on social media, you can go complain to the court. Social media can't help him. He knows this. I have to agree with that. But at this point, y'all, we do know, we all come to the conclusion that right now, everything's in Robert's court right now. Everything. There's nothing that we can do. We can bring awareness to everything, but social media, there's but so much people on social media can do. Like I said, we do have the credentials. Some of us do have the credentials to reach outside of social media, but it's still up to Robert to take the bait at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Sometimes because one parent can do the most for no reason. That's exactly right, Lux. That's exactly right. Rochelle said once she seen he didn't want her anymore is when she started getting more and more strict with the baby. And that's exactly right, Rochelle. I think we all can agree with that one. And I think Bradley, he might be tired. He might be tired of court. But like we were saying in the beginning, and it does get to the point you get tired. But when you think about that child, you got to find your strength somewhere to keep fighting. You got to find your strength somewhere to keep fighting, even when you do get tired. And that's what we all say. And that's what judges like to hear, that even though it got tired, that child was more important. So, but yeah, I'm getting ready to wrap it up because I know that you said Upper is live.
Yeah, she just went live.
Okay.
But I didn't say that. I didn't mean to say that out loud. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. Y'all know I don't like to stay on here long anyway. So I'm getting ready. D-Red said, yep. And the fact that everything is in his court, and if he does nothing, then I think supporters need to start looking at all of this different.
Were you done with the video though?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes. Y'all can catch the entire video on his page. So everybody go follow the lead attorney. You can catch the entire thing. He has the entire thing on his page. That's just the key point I wanted to make, where he was making that point about what fathers should do. But you guys, thank you so much for coming back. Thank you, Dehan, for coming up. I appreciate you very, very much. Thank you, Hercules. Thank you, Christina. Serenity Speaks for coming in. JB, thank you so much for your input. I just love it when JB has a lot of great input. I love that. D-Red, thank you so much for coming through. Brantley's Lifestyle, Brittany, Rochelle, Lux, of course. Serenity Speaks. Let me see who else came through. Veronica, thank you. Justina, thank you so much for I didn't get everybody's name. Cheryl, Joanne, Christina.
If y'all don't mind, hold on, Queen. If y'all don't mind hitting that like button on your way out, or and plus hit the Cash App. Her Cash App is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. If you like what Miss Shawn brings to her platform and the quality of it, hit that Cash App on your way out, please.
I appreciate it, y'all. Please, if y'all don't mind hitting and hit the like button. The like button is free, of course. So please definitely hit the like button on the way out. Thank you so much, guys. And again, I'm so sorry about earlier, you guys. And next time, I promise you we will go live on time the next time, and we'll be able to do it a little bit longer. But thank you guys for coming through. I love you so much. And I will catch you guys again on the next live. Thank you again. I'll see you guys later.
Okay, now.
All right. Bye. Thank you, DM.
No problem.